Hello and welcome back to IXL tutorials. This is Mr. Duffick, and today we are doing IXL D4, which has us identifying certain angle measurements of our figures with a bunch of lines in them. And right here we see we have a pair of parallel lines, and then we have a transversal. Remember, a transversal is a line that goes through both of the other lines. It's just that diagonal line. Okay, so we have our diagram here, and we have our question down here that gives us the information we need. If line MO, so right here, and PR right here, are parallel lines, which they are, and the measure for angle ONQ is 43, what is the measure for angle PQN? So I will snip this. Okay. So it's saying that the measure for angle O and Q is 43. So O, N, and Q, this one is going to be 43 right there. Okay, what is the measure for PQN, which is PQN, this one right here. Okay, so it's a lot easier to determine the measure of a bunch of these angles since these lines are parallel, since the two lines here are parallel, makes things a lot easier. So the angle relationship between our 43 degrees and our missing degree value x here is that they are alternate interior angles. They are angles that are both on the inside between the two parallel lines, but on the opposite side of the transversal. So by definition, since the lines are parallel, we know that they're going to be the exact same thing. So since this one is 43, that means x is going to be 43 as well. So go back, type in 43. Cool. Okay, if BD and EG are parallel, and EFC is 42, then what is BCA? What is BCA? Okay, so we'll do this one as well. So understanding the different angle relationships is really going to help you carry yourself further for this IXL. We said that EFC, so this angle right here, is 42 degrees. Okay, and it wants us to find BCA, so this one. Okay, so what is the angle relationship between our angle here and our angle up here? Well, again, since these two lines are parallel, and they're all going to be parallel for this IXL, we know that these two angles are called corresponding angles, right? They're both on the same side of the transversal, so they're both kind of on the upper side of the transversal. And they're also on the same side of the respective parallel lines. So this angle is on the right side of its parallel line, and this missing angle here is on the right side of its parallel line. So in short, they're on the same side of the transversal and the same side of their respective parallel lines. So because of that, again, we know they equal the same thing. So if this one is 42, that means x is going to equal 42. So we'll come back, we'll go 42. Good. Okay, this looks like a pretty standard problem. We have HIF, so that angle there, and then JIK, this angle there. So we'll do this one too, because it's different. Okay, so again, we have HIF, so right here is 63. And then down here we have JIK. Okay. So what is the relationship between our two angles here? Well, these are called vertical angles because they're at opposite ends of an intersection point right here. Okay. So again, since the lines are parallel and everything, we know that these two angles are going to be equal. So if this angle is 63, that means this angle is also going to be 63. I promise they're not always going to equal each other every single time, but these are some of the low-level problems, so the chances are probably pretty good. Okay, let's see. We have DCA, so we have that angle there, and then BCF. Okay, again, vertical angles, so they're just going to equal the same thing. I'm going to jump. So for this problem, hopefully it's a little bit more difficult here. So we'll see that they want the measure for angle NOR, so NOR, so right here to be 114. And what is going to be the measure of angle SRO, so this angle there. Okay, We're going to skip this one too because they are going to be the same. So I'm going to skip again. Okay, so let's do this problem now. So we have this diagram and it gives us P, Q, N, so right here. And it wants us to find M, N, L, so M, N, and L. Now this one's not good either. This is too easy. Hold on, I'm going to find a not so easy one. SRO, and it wants us to find NOM, NOM. Okay, this is a good one. Finally, okay. So I'm hoping this one will be a little bit more difficult. I'm going to get that one. Okay. And it says that the measure for angle RSO, so RSO, this one right here is 130 degrees. Okay. And it wants us to find the measure for NOM or NOM. So like that one. Okay. So this is not going to be the same answer. It's not going to be 130, right? It's not going to be equal. This one you're going to have to do just a little bit more work. So you know that the angle relationship between NMO and something like QRO, so this angle right here, is going to be corresponding, just like with the last set of problems, right? They're going to be the same thing. So how do we figure out what this angle is right here? Because if you can figure out what this angle is right here, we can figure out what x is. Well, we know that these two angles are a linear pair, so they have to add up to 180 degrees, right? So our missing angle here plus 130 has to equal 180 degrees. So we just subtract 130 from 180 and we end up with 50 degrees. All right. And now that we know this angle is 50 degrees and these two are corresponding, what does x have to equal? It has to equal 50 degrees as well. So in principle, it's kind of the same stuff you've seen before, except you got to just do an extra step because there's not as clear of a angle relationship there. Corresponding is very clear, so you just got to do the subtraction and you have it. So we have our 50 degrees here. There we go. Okay, and I think that is just about it. Let me skip toward the end here. We have, let's see, KLJ. KLJ is 137.2. What is NOQ? NOQ. So what is this one down here? Okay, well, same deal. These are both on the outside, but they're not alternating. So it's going to use the same type of logic. You're going to subtract this number from 180 and then their corresponding angles. So the only difference here is they add decimals to make it a little more difficult, but same exact problem. Okay, we jump up here, same stuff. Okay, so that's where I'm going to end the video then. Again, if you just understand the angle relationships, what is equal to what, then this is going to be pretty easy for you. Okay, take care, study hard, and I'll see you for the next IXL tutorial video. Goodbye.